We'd like to think a new year wipes the slate clean, but we're realists at Annex Wealth Management. Challenges remain: market volatility, taxes, a pesky virus. It makes you wonder, what's next? Annex Wealth Management is ready to face those issues with you as a fee-only fiduciary with Wealth Metric. More than a portfolio review, it addresses your investment, retirement, and tax plan. If you ask, how am I doing? Or more importantly, what am I missing? Visit AnnexWealth.com, click the Get Started button. We're ready. Know the difference. Annex Wealth Management.
Live from multiple locations via the miracle of Skype, it's the LTN Hour. Let's talk NASCAR with your host, Todd Bailing. Co-host, Ed Kaluka. Featuring dangerous Dan Margetta and Brian Schmidt. LTN is a caller-driven program, and your participation is encouraged by calling 414-421-7901. That's 414-421-7901. Now, the creator and host of the fastest hour in radio, Todd Bailing.
And welcome to the program. Glad you could join us on this beautiful Sunday morning in the month of January. Todd Bailing in Phoenix, Arizona, joined by my three partners, Ed Kaluka of West Bend, Wisconsin. How you doing there, Ed?
2 inches of snow and it's beautiful sunshine. I'm coming off of COVID.
We kind of thought you were sickly sounding recently. Are you pretty sure that's what you had?
Yep, coming out of it.
All right. Well, glad to hear that. Not everybody can say that. Dan Margetta of St. Francis, USA. Hey, Dano.
Hey, good morning. It's a good day in Phoenix, and it's not too bad up here in Wisconsin. But our Charlotte friends or our Carolina friends are waking up to some snow and ice today, which has got to really, be different for them.
It kind of curved all around Milwaukee, huh? It's beautiful. That's what we like to hear. And of course, Brian Schmidt of Utzberg, Wisconsin, who would have definitely been plowing it if it had hit Wisconsin, but apparently you missed it, huh, Brian?
Yep. So far, so good as far as this winter's gone. Very minimal snow. Hope we don't pay for it later, but if it is going to do it, it can do it while I'm in Florida, which it usually does. So that would be great. Just let me get out.
You almost missed the Chili Bowl.
And speaking of the Chili Bowl, that's pretty much the deal here. What the racing world has been watching, although of all things, there have been two pretty good shows on at the same time on Flow Racing that you could switch back and forth between the midgets in Tulsa at the Chili Bowl and the late models in a full program at Vado, New Mexico, which turns out is a suburb of El Paso, Texas.
And the most beautiful dirt track I've ever seen.
Yeah, nice looking facility. It's brand new, pretty much, Brian, right?
It doesn't only look good, it races what a spectacular racetrack. It's just the weather isn't the great. I know a couple people that are out there, and it's a bit chilly out there. I know the general manager of the track, who's a good friend of mine, and he kind of alluded to it may be like that when they come out there in January because it can be a little brisk, but holy cow, the racing is outstanding out there. If you've missed or haven't seen any of it, go on Flow's Facebook page and you can see the highlights for free. It's spectacular racing.
And the fantastic thing about that track, they never rework it. They drop the green flag and they throw the checker flag at the end of the night.
Exactly.
That's not exactly what they did on the indoor track at Tulsa.
No, it's not.
It took Brian. You went on a fire call and came back and you still hadn't started the race?
my pager went off shortly after 10, and I'm like, oh, darn it, now I'm going to miss the race, So I go on the call. It was about an hour. It was a carbon monoxide thing. I get back, and I walk in the house, and I could see the TV, and I saw someone on stage, and I'm like, oh, it's over. They're only doing driver introductions. I'm like, oh, my goodness. Yeah. That was a solid hour plus, but it stayed up.
Big production.
Ending for it.
Pretty good race. I guess the action was good. I have to admit, and I'm not the only one that thought this, I'm sure, but when I saw that Christopher Bell was going to start on the pole, I was convinced he was going to lead every single lap, knowing the history of dirt track racing and the dominance of Christopher Bell in a midget, but I was wrong. Turned out to be a pretty damn good show, and Tanner Thorson was your winner. This is the same guy, by the way, and I'm glad you pointed it out to me, gentlemen, that he was hauling his race car with a pickup truck on a Los Angeles freeway 3 years ago, and he rear-ended a milk truck and was badly injured. He had a broken sternum. If you've ever had that, you can't breathe when that happens. It's the middle of your chest. It's where all your ribs come together in the middle of your chest. And if you break that, it's difficult to take a breath. But 3 years ago, and I guess he got through it okay, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of cool to see him win for that, reason. He's been around a while running these, midgets and sprint cars and stuff. And
at 25 years old.
Right, but always been a really good shoe. I mean, one of the guys we used to watch. And when we went down to Midget Week, kind of from Brian, when we were watching him, that was one of the guys that was kind of on our radar to keep an eye on going forward. Then he got hurt 3 years ago, and that put him back a while. And now he's back. And obviously he proved you can stand on it because he went and passed Christopher Bell at the Chili Bowl to win it.
Yeah, and he's one of the Keith Kuntz guys. So Keith Kuntz had to have a little bit of a feeling, oh my goodness, there he goes, but yet a little feeling proud that was one of his guys. Keith Kuntz.
And he's one of the guys that he's a crew chief, he's a mechanic, he's a driver, he's a builder, and he does his interviews like a mechanic.
Yep, he's a good kid. I mean, there's a couple of those USAC guys, and it's been several years since a standalone USAC guy won this race. You had Rico win it several years in a row. You had Christopher Bell win it several years in a row. You had Kyle win it a couple years in a row. So it's kind of nice to see it go back to the guys that do this for a living win this big race again.
Brian, I don't mean to put either of you guys on the spot for this, but do we know what the Chili Bowl paid to win?
Not much.
10 grand.
10 grand? It's not a lot.
You're kidding.
No.
400 cars?
It's one of those deals where it pays 10 to win and it costs you 15 to get there, and everybody does it because it's the cool thing to do, I guess.
Wow.
How'd you like to profit from that pit gate?
No.
God.
Yeah, because it's like $350 for a full week pit pass, and the seats are expensive. I mean, there's more cost that goes into that than a normal race. If you think about it, you got to come in here, you got to build the whole thing, you got to put everything up, you got to clean it all up.
Oh,
that may be why.
Oh,
I'm just saying that might be why it doesn't, pay out.
No,
as
Brian,
much
that ain't gonna fly. That's not gonna fly.
You got to pay
the license to steal.
And they had that Tulsa shootout the week before. They have 1,000 cars came to that about. And
yes,
yeah.
I mean, what, 10 or 15 grand to win?
Right. They got a deal going there.
And like Dan said the week before, there was 1,700 cars there.
Yeah, with the Tulsa
plus
shootout.
the cruise.
I heard it costs like $1,500 to park your trailer in the building for those things, and you got that many cars. That premium parking in the building is
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
I see long black leather jackets.
No wonder that promoter who had his picture taken with every single driver was smiling. Thank you for everything you've done for me. Good God. Well,
he's got Wisconsin ties too, doesn't he, Dan? The guy who runs the Chili Bowl, wasn't he originally one of the guys that was going to take over Sun Prairie also?
Yeah,
and he's
I hadn't heard that.
Yeah,
That's
and he was isn't he part owner with Bill Balog's operation, I believe?
We'd have to ask Brian Kopitsky, and he's not with us right now.
Well, either way, they did put a heck of a show on. It was all week long with all those cars. What did they just split it up into 4 or 5 groups and then had them? That entire night was dedicated to just that group of drivers, right?
Yep. Yeah, that's how they did it. It's roughly between 75 and 80 cars a night. I'm not exactly sure how you pick your night, because a lot of these guys always seem to run the same night. They call Kyle Larson Mr. Tuesday. They call Rico Abro Mr. Wednesday. So they're able to kind of pick their nights, and I think they scatter the. It probably goes by seniority, I'm guessing, and the lower teams fill in where you go there. But it's roughly 75 to 80 cars a night to get through the whole thing this year.
Roughly 400 cars and 350 guys I never heard of before.
Well, let's just say when they ran the soup races on Saturday, they call it the alphabet soup because they run all the letter mains. And we started with two Q mains. We went from Q to P to O to N to M all the way up to A.
Yeah, amazing. It really was. The turnout for that, and for what kind, it's just the prestige, really, right?
Yes.
That's the main part of it. As a matter of fact, if I remember right, didn't Kyle Larson say he would have rather won the Chili Bowl than the Daytona 500 at one time?
When he first won it, I think they came out that it meant more to him, and then they kind of ran with it and twisted his words around and stuff. But think how hard it is to make that race. I mean, you have to do passing points in your heat race, then you have to qualify for the qualifiers through the bypassing cars in your heat race, And then you have to, bet on that. And the top 16 point getters make the A main, and only the top 2 from each preliminary night make the Saturday deal. It's so tough to make Saturday's field. I mean, you could finish 10th in your A main on the preliminary night, and you're going to run the E main or the D main, on Saturday.
And 400 cars, and lo and behold, of all people, Christopher Bell starts from the pole. Are you kidding me? And what's even more impressive than that, he didn't win. Oh, jeez. We'll be back.
Attention race fans, Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin now has 2022 season passes available at discount pricing. The earlier you buy, the more you save, and it makes a great gift for yourself or the motorsport enthusiast on your list. This includes over 50 days of action-packed racing, including NASCAR Cup Series, IndyCar, Moto America, and IMSA Sports Car. Don't wait. Get your 2022 Road America season discounted passes today at roadamerica.com. Road America, your national park of speed.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship-winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com. Emf Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily, from premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit PMFlandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
Guess who's back?
You know the voice.
Back again.
You know the show.
Guess who's back?
I hope all the people that say they'll never win with Aaron Rodgers, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that, I hope they win it and people come out and go, I was wrong. I look like an idiot.
Starting Monday, the Bill Michaels Show is back on the Big 920. And this time we mean it.
I'm not going to completely condemn Jordan Love. I mean, it wasn't like I expected him to come out and be Aaron Rodgers.
The Bill Michaels Show, weekdays 11 to 3 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Welcome back to LTN. Glad you could take a little time out of your Sunday morning to join us. The big news this week was that NASCAR had yet another test of the new car at Daytona. All week long they were testing, and single car tests, drafting tests. Some cars, the times that were published were by themselves, so you didn't have a real good idea how it went in the draft. Dale Jr. was there testing the number 5 car because, of course, Kyle Larson was in Tulsa at the Chili Bowl and wasn't there for the test. They actually asked Jr., boy, does this get you going again? Do you want to come back? And he said, oh, hell no. I'm happy at first.
Probably because after he drove the car, said, I don't think I want to run this car.
Yeah, that's, Ed, I'm not real positive that the NASCAR drivers are all that thrilled about this. But, you have to shut up, drink the Kool-Aid, be a company man. And when there's a camera or a microphone around, tell them how great it is. We
won't know until Daytona.
Yeah. And what I saw when they got
go ahead, Dan.
When I saw when they got in the draft, it actually looked pretty racy, I thought. I mean, I watched that one night when Brian texted me, hey, it's live, go on, because I think they were supposed to be done for the day. Like NASCAR didn't want to have any more data, and all the drivers kind of got together, a bunch of them said, hey, let's go on and draft at night. And I was watching that session, and it looked pretty entertaining to watch. I mean, it didn't seem anybody could get away from anybody.
No, and the way they did draft, I mean, the way they could call it suck up or pull up to the car in front of them without any bubble between them, it looks like that splitter underneath the car is working well.
Yeah, they definitely diced it up, and I think that's after the initial practice on Tuesday. I think they all went out as an organized group. They lined it up like a race, had a pace car out there the whole 9 yards, went out there and did it for like 10, 12 laps, and they got real dicey. And one of the interviews, they said, NASCAR said, yeah, we're done doing drafting. We don't want to do it anymore because they're low on parts. They don't want to wreck these cars. And then it got to be about 5, I think it was around 5 o'clock local time here, so about 6 o'clock there. Lights were on, and I started seeing them roll all out, and they all lined up, and then they all went out there as a group together. There were probably about 15 of them, and they put on quite a show. I mean, the people that were there were actually a lot of people there watching it. If you saw in the garage area was open for people to come in for free. There was, out in the fan zone area I'm talking, and there were people in the stands watching it. It was good stuff, and nobody got away, and they were dicing it up real good. The cars seemed fairly stable. I think that's the biggest thing I noticed was, you used to see it where they'd get all squirrely with the other car and you'd lose it and you'd wreck. A lot of the moves they were making, the cars seemed to hold on enough that they weren't worried about, wrecking. Now when we get into an actual race, who knows?
You got 14 inches of more rubber on the surface on a racetrack.
True. Yep.
14 inches with the new tire.
All right.
Yeah,
now, Brian brought it up, and I think that's as big an issue as anything. We all know that they're going to wreck all these cars in the race. We hope that they don't wreck them before the race. They will have some opportunities to race them before the 500. But right now, NASCAR admitted this week that they are having supply chain issues, just like every other major company in the country, no matter where you are. Do you realize that there's grocery stores that are having a hard time keeping food on the shelves? That this supply chain thing is still that bad? So right now, they were hoping at this point that NASCAR was going to have that every team was going to have 4 cars per team. That means 4-car teams would have 16 cars sitting in the shop by now. And the reality is they only have 2 cars. Now, one of the NASCAR talking heads, I don't know which one it was. I'm sorry I didn't pay close attention. He said that even though that he admitted that they are having supply chain problems, they have every hope. What the hell is that? That there will be 5 cars per team done and ready to go by the time they start the West Coast swing, which is right after Daytona. Now, it seems to me that's awfully ambitious to hope you're going to go from 2 to 5 cars per team in about a month, isn't it?
I think I'm
No, it's not really because of the manufacturing, the way it's done. If they can keep up, there's no problem at all. They'll just assemble this car and go race it. It's like buying a kit car, just bolt it together and go race it.
But you got to figure you're going to wreck a bunch of cars in LA. You're going to probably wreck cars probably in the qualifiers, and you're going to wreck in the 500. So there's a lot of crash cars coming up in a 3-week period there before you get to Vegas. So you have to have a lot of cars built to go, I think.
Not if the car is as stable as it seems to be.
That was a lot of what was talked about during that time. There's a lady doing some interviews while the live stream was going on, and they asked them why they went back out again, and the guys are like, because when we get to Daytona for Speed Weeks, during practice sessions, we're not going to be able to go out and do a lot of drafting practice come Speed Weeks, because if you wreck the car, you're not necessarily going to have a backup car to go to. That's why they wanted to get as much data as they could this past week, because you have time, if something were to happen, to kind of fix it again. But with the bolt-on fronts and the bolt-on backs, one would think you'd be able to repair these cars a little easier than what you did before.
Yeah, to Ed's point completely. But the whole point goes back to the supply chain. Are they going to have enough parts, Ed? Do you foresee that it'll improve by then?
Well, it's all up to Technique. Them are the people building the cars.
And is that the outfit in Germany or wherever the hell it is?
No. The Technique comes from Michigan.
Okay.
They relocated their. At one point, we were in running with Technique to get that contract.
Yeah, you mean?
Hefner Racing Products.
Okay.
And Todd and all the boys were working on it. We built like 15 cars and was getting close to, do we really want to do this? And when we got the paperwork of what you had to do for the quote, we said, no, thank you. And Technique got it. So
what'd you do with the 15 cars?
They were sold. They're all bought in cars.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but it's that was the last year's car.
Is Dallara part of this anymore, or because they originally were going to have the pieces were going to be supplied from them, right? Or
Say that again, Dan.
The Dallara company, are they part of this anymore?
Dallara is the designer. They're the one that designed this car, the concept of the whole car, and everything else is being done over here. But the Dallara company, which is really, really good company when it comes to that kind of stuff, that they're the designer of the car.
All right. Well, it's all food for thought as we get ready to. I don't know why they just don't race the old cars in that Coliseum.
Never going to happen.
It's an exhibition, and we're going to wreck a bunch of cars. Oh well, they know better than me. We'll be back.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Listen each hour weekdays for the keyword and your chance to win $1,000.
Oh, my Lord. Yep, $1,000. Your chance from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Complete details on our website, thebig920.com. Good luck, and thank you.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
This is The Herd.
The winner in this is also
Colin Cowherd.
Does your family have anybody in it that's a train wreck? Does that mean your family's a train wreck? Can the media stop doing this? And by the way, fans, you stop doing it too. Taking one and making it all. I don't think I'd vote for Aaron Rodgers. He's a bad guy. Well, let's not take one writer and say, well, that's what everybody thinks. That's just clickbait.
This is The Herd.
Weekdays 3 to 6 on the Big 920 and big920.com.
There's been talk about the new schedule. They're talking about it this week. Some highlights for you to remember. The Bristol Dirt Race in March is going to be Easter Sunday, which is a big change for NASCAR. They always considered Easter off limits. The only time, Dan, the last time they raced there was when, several years ago, 1989.
Yeah, Richmond got snowed out, and they had to move it somewhere. And that was the only open weekend they had.
So this year, that's April 17th at Easter Sunday this year. It's late. But get this. If you'll remember, one of the issues they had with the dirt track in the afternoon with the sun blasting in when the track dried out and there was all that dust, you couldn't see anything. So it's going to be at night, Easter night this year, which will be pretty dusty under the lights, but it won't be as bad as when that sun was blasting in through the top of that place.
The track holds moisture better in the dark, Ryan.
Yeah, and it's also a lot later. I mean, last year that was March when we were racing there, end of March. And
that's right.
This year now it's mid to late April 17th, so just after mid part of April. So the weather should be a lot more conducive to better racing there, and running it after the sun sets is going to help a lot. They won't have to have so much moisture on it to begin with because it won't dry out as fast. So I think they'll put on a better show the time they're running it.
Among other scheduled changes for this year, the Homestead Miami race, which was early in the season. It was real early, wasn't it, Dan, last year? Like March?
March last year.
Yeah, it's going back to the fall, October 23. It'll be the second race of the round of 8. Then Las Vegas and Texas have swapped their playoff dates. Texas will become the first race of the round of 12, and Vegas will become the first race of the round of 8.
And it's so hot in Vegas. In September, it was boiling, and now in October it might be a little better that way. And I think that the end of the season shapes up to be really exciting with Vegas, Homestead, Martinsville, and Phoenix. I mean, that's a good way to end as far as 4 tracks that race pretty well and should have a pretty good event.
The All-Star race at Texas moves from early June to May 22nd, back a couple of weeks. Kansas Speedway's fall race will be now September 11th. It'll be the second race of the round of 6, and Richmond's second race, which was on that date, will be moved to August 14th. Richmond's spring race moves to early April. That'll make it the first short track race of the year. Then the Circuit of the Americas, if you remember that delayed rain, oh my goodness, it was terrible. Well, either way, I don't know that rain, you really can't set a schedule about when it rains more. But because of that, they changed the date to the end. Went from mid-May, now it'll be at the end of March. And then the second last race before the end of the regular season is Watkins Glen. That moves to August 21st, and Michigan moves to August 7th this year. And of course, Pocono is losing one of their races. Their only trip to Pocono will be on July 24th. They will add, of course, the St. Louis track gateway this year. And there's, believe it or not, there's only going to be one off week the entire season. Father's Day, June 19th, will be the only off day of the entire year. That is really weird.
So we're going to run on Mother's Day, but not on Father's Day. How weird is that?
And Easter. I mean, that's a real strange one. Yeah, they never ran Mother's Day before. They tried to make it a Saturday night race. So that you wouldn't actually race on Mother's Day.
And that's how you're able to condense. I mean, with the Super Bowl moving, they had to shuffle themselves forward a week to start. So we're starting, we always raced around Valentine's Day. Now we're starting racing a week later, starting it. And we're ending, in theory, 2 weeks earlier than we used to. We used to end, Homestead was always right around the week before Thanksgiving, and now we're ending the first week in November. So in order to fit all these races in without condensing your schedule at all, you only get one off week.
Yeah. You don't need off weeks. Well, that's a hell of a job right there, isn't it? You better figure out what you're going to do in December and part of January, because that's the only time you're going to be off. Last week we talked about Ryan Preece. It was kind of cool that he landed on his feet. Of course, he had lost his ride, and we thought, what a talented driver. He just doesn't have any money, and he needs to be in our sport. And then we were lauding the fact that Stuart Haas signed Ryan Preece to a contract without having a ride. He's gonna be in 2 cup races for Rick Ware Racing this year. He's gonna be in a handful of truck races, and he's gonna be in a handful of Xfinity races with no real future in sight. Well, little did we know that Eric Almirola announced this is going to be his last season. Ed, we're thinking there might be a good reason for that.
Yeah, I think Smithfield is gone, and with Smithfield stepping down, it'd be a logical thing to do. I don't think he was ready to retire.
Didn't seem like he would be, but he did bring Smithfield. Now, as we know, Smithfield is a Chinese company that bought several American brand names such as Patrick Cudahy and Oscar Mayer and other different meats that you find day to day in your local corner grocery store. It's all Chinese owned, but they have been very faithful to Eric Almirola, who happens to be Cuban, which is kind of an odd connection right there. But we think they're done. Ed, you didn't see anything that Smithfield is leaving, right? So
I didn't see anybody coming back either.
Yeah, well, that's true. If they stayed with the team, Preece would have a sponsor. If they don't, Preece doesn't have money.
But Haas does.
Well, Haas has plenty of money.
Haas does, and Ryan Preece brings results. Think about his record in the amount of races, other than when he drove for GTD Doherty the last year. When he's been in good equipment, I mean, his couple of races with Gibbs in an Xfinity car, he wins. You know, his one-off in a Truck Series race, he wins. So if Stewart Haas has their stuff together this year and has good stuff.
Did you know Amazon provides ways of working that fits your lifestyle? They know you value your time outside of work, juggling family, school, friends, or other activities. That's why they offer a variety of shifts that work for you. There are full-time, part-time, and even temporary opportunities that can work with your schedule. With great starting pay and sign-on bonuses, if you want a career that fits and adapts to your lifestyle, head to amazon.com/apply. Amazon is a proud equal opportunity employer.
Now extended through January 14th, join a clean and spacious Planet Fitness for zero enrollment and only $10 a month. With tons of equipment and free fitness training, it's the perfect place for everybody to work out.
Even me, mister. I'm so stressed I grind my teeth more than most people grind coffee.
Especially you. Give your anxiety-clenched jaw a rest.
My molars will be so happy.
Start feeling fit-tacular today. Join in club or at planetfitness.com. Zero enrollment, $10 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends January 14th. See club for details.
You know, his Xfinity run there, he may win.
Now, Rick Ware Racing, we know what Rick Ware Racing is, right? Well, I believe we're going to tell you about Rick Ware because they are going to be a satellite of Stewart Haas this year. And that's going to step up their whole program. And Matt tells me it's time to sneak away. We'll be back with that and some other good news right after this.
Attention race fans, Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin now has 2022 season passes available at discount pricing. The earlier you buy, the more you save, and it makes a great gift for yourself or the motorsport enthusiast on your list. This includes over 50 days of action-packed racing, including NASCAR Cup Series, IndyCar, Moto America, and IMSA Sports Car. Don't wait. Get your 2022 Road America season discounted passes today at roadamerica.com. Road America, your national park of speed.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
The Badgers are on the game.
And the Badgers win it! They have knocked off the Purdue Boilermakers.
Milwaukee's home for the most Badger stuff.
He'll try a three. Got it! Johnny Davis for three. 14-2 overall, 5-1 in the Big Ten. The Badgers roll on. Down the lane, drops the hammer. Thank you and good night. Up next, Wisconsin travels to Northwestern this Tuesday night. Pat LePay's pregame show starts at 7 on Milwaukee's home for the Badgers. The Big 920.
And welcome back. Nice to have you. Yeah, this Rick Ware Racing deal, they have, they're going to be down to two charters, right? 15 and the 51. Cody Ware, which is Rick Ware's kid, who's, what's a good way to put it? He's a little flighty. He's a part-time IndyCar guy. He likes to mix it up with a backmarker car, right? That's the same dude, isn't it?
And he's raced a bunch of stuff. I mean, not only just, stock cars and Indy cars, he did some sports car stuff, and he's actually kind of successful in the sports car stuff. So he's been around. I mean, he doesn't seem to put his focus on one thing. He just drives here and there, whatever he wants to do. So obviously, you figure the 51 car is going to be his.
And they have a second car. It'll be number 15, and it looks as though it's going to be a rental car. Now, as you might recall, Josh Balicki, Richfield, Wisconsin's own, raced one of the Rick Ware cars this year. He told us at Phoenix that he believed everything was going to be just fine, and he was going to be back in a Rick Ware car, which means it would have been, the 15? Because Cody Ware going to be in that 51. That wouldn't have left a whole lot of space for him. So Josh is gone. He's going to drive the number 77 car for Spire Motorsports next year. We hope to have Josh on in the very near future talking about what's all going on over there. But he thought that with the new alliance with Rick Ware Racing, with Stewart Haas, it's going to make them a lot more competitive. Now, there's a couple things we can say about the 15 car. David Reagan is going to drive it, at Daytona. David Reagan has won 4 races. He's a very capable driver, particularly on a plate track or a big track. I don't know if you can call it plate anymore. Ed Reagan, I would think might be a car that would be competitive at Daytona.
The lap times didn't look too good. Maybe he didn't draft at all.
Okay.
But,
No, the wear
we'll
cars
see.
were not drafting the other day.
Okay. Interesting. Well, that just happens to be the same car, speaking of this alliance with Stuart Haas, that Ryan Preece is going to drive the number 15 car at Dover and Charlotte in the spring. So
and LA too for the Coliseum.
Okay. You know, if Josh was right, and they're going to be getting engines from the same supplier, who supplies the engines on the Stuart Haas cars?
Ralph Yates.
Ralph Yates, I think, yeah.
Okay.
Or
Didn't he tell us same engines they're going to be getting?
Yeah, they've had an alliance before. I mean, it wasn't all the time. You remember when like Cole Custer had some starts in the Cup Series in that 51 car that was entered under Rick Ware, but that was a full-blown Stuart Haas car when he ran on that deal. So, I mean, they've had a partnership limited in the past. Now it's just going to be the full all-around. And I don't know if we're going to have any really uncompetitive cars this year. I think with the new car and everything else, the playing field's pretty about as level as it's ever been. I mean, even that Spire team that Josh is going to, I mean, the other car in the 7 is Corey LaJoie, and he's talking it's time to step up and run up front and do some things this year. So we'll see.
You got to love their spunk. Because why is it? I just don't have a lot of confidence that that's going to happen that way. It's coming down, as Robbie Reiser told us many years ago, it comes down to people. You're not going to have the same caliber of people working at Rick Ware Motorsports as you have at Stuart Haas Motorsports. Am I right?
You are, but I mean, again, it's kind of, if you compare it to IMSA in the IndyCar series, where almost every car in those series are pretty level. You know, they all, at any given day, there's 27 cars in an IndyCar series, and I would say, other than the AJ Foyt cars, the rest of them all have a shot to win every single week. And you know, they don't all have the same amount of people there either. So when you make the machine that you're driving very, very equal all across the board, you know, it's going to be more about the driver than the technology behind it these days, because you're not going to be able to put a lot of that technology into it like we were doing before.
Well, there you go. And I believe that was the whole point of the whole thing, which is why those charters have gone up in value so much, I believe, but that's just me. All right, so Jacques Villeneuve, remember him? Is this the same guy that was a snowmobile champion?
No, that's a different one, but this is the same guy that, Dan, was that at Road America where he irritated the heck out of almost everybody when he was running the Xfinity car there?
3 wide into Canada corner. I'll never forget that pass when he made it.
Well, he's 50 years old right now, and he's going to attempt to make the Daytona 500 in the number 27 car. I've been trying to figure out exactly how to pronounce it. It's called Team Heseberg. That's Twan Hesemans and Ernst Berg. Hesemans and Berg, or Heseberg. That is a new team this year. It's number 27, and Jacques Villeneuve thinks he's going to have a shot to win the Daytona 500. So good.
Right now, there's only 39 entries for the 500. So
when's the last time a world champion has started the Daytona 500? I mean, he was an F1 champion, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he's a 2-time Indy 500 winner, right?
I mean, you know, I think Andretti won the championship, but that was after his Daytona 500 stuff was in like 67, and he won the Andretti or the F1 title in like 78, right? So, we ever had a Formula One world champion run the Daytona 500?
Daytona, yes. No, I don't know.
Andretti.
Yeah, but Andretti ran the 500 in 67. I mean, he won it, and then in 78 he was the F1 champion. So it was after his Daytona 500 runs.
Interesting. Roger Penske, go ahead.
And he won it with AJ Foyt's engine. Ha ha ha.
Roger Penske has had an Xfinity team in NASCAR, at least one, since 09. 81 wins, 2 championships, and there will not be a Penske Xfinity team in 2022. First time since 2009. So that's kind of a big deal. They have only had it, I believe, as a developmental area for their future drivers. And now that this young man has taken over the 2 car, who's a former Xfinity champion, and Cindric is the last reason they have had to have an Xfinity team. So Penske is out. Imagine that. And Brian, we could talk briefly here a little bit about Kevin Harvick's big idea that he spewed on Sirius Radio this week that all the Sirius announcers seem to be pretty enamored with.
Yeah, I believe it was on Tuesday I heard it. They were talking about, Harvick must have done an interview. I didn't actually hear the interview, but he was talking about the race at the Coliseum. And, a lot of these guys are a little apprehensive about how well that race is going to go. And Harvick floated an idea out there that they should take the Busch Clash and the All-Star race and rotate them amongst all the short tracks in the country. You can have the Busch Clash races in February in the warm weather climates, Florida, the West Coast, Arizona, the areas like that, and the All-Star race in the northern climates where it's colder. And just bring the whole Cup Series there, just like you do for your races now. Run like a 150-lap feature, announce it 3 years in advance, so the short tracks know that it's coming, and you only get one crack at it. Do it one time. So, say for instance, this year you'd be at Irwindale instead of the Coliseum. They would get the race, and then say for the All-Star race you'd be at Slinger Speedway, and they would have known 3 years in advance. Rotate it around, and usually when someone floats an idea and it's on Sirius XM, you kind of get poo-pooed by it. I've listened to Dave Moody enough to know that if it's not an idea that NASCAR always is talking about, he don't go with it. However, everybody for 2 days on Sirius XM when they were talking about it, every one of the hosts were embracing it and thought it was a great idea.
Well, it is a neat idea, but you got to be practical here. Would it be, boy? And by the way, doesn't this sound right out of the SRX playbook?
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. And that was part of the conversation. He said SRX showed you can bring a traveling road show to anywhere in the country and it'll work.
Except for one thing. Yeah, thanks, Dave. Except for one thing. Bringing a NASCAR, can you imagine the All-Star race to, let's just say, for instance, Slinger Speedway, where it seats 11,000 people? Wouldn't you want to have it at a place that seats, 50,000 people, maybe? It's
you don't even get
about
50,000 at the All-Star races these days. That's why.
Yeah, that's true. 11,000 is all they bring in anyway. We'll be back.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
The new episode of the Barry Alvarez podcast is available now. Barry and co-host Matt LePay look back at the just completed college football season, playoff expansion, and the 2022 Hall of Fame class. Listen to all the episodes of the Barry Alvarez podcast, available right now on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.
Attention race fans, Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin now has 2022 season passes available at discount pricing. The earlier you buy, the more you save, and it makes a great gift for yourself or the motorsport enthusiast on your list. This includes over 50 days of action-packed racing, including NASCAR Cup Series, IndyCar, Moto America, and IMSA Sports Car. Don't wait. Get your 2022 Road America season discounted passes today at roadamerica.com. Road America, your national park of speed.
Emf Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily, from premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
The Milwaukee Admirals close out a 3-game road trip with a matinee game this Monday.
Not trying to bank it in. It comes to the front. Schneider will score!
The Jockey pregame show starts at 1:30. Face off at 2.
Richard right circle. He shoots and scores!
On the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
And now the LTN Hour presents Dirt on the Dirt with Brian Schmidt.
Busy week of dirt track racing here for the middle of January. We'll get right to it. Monday night, Tulsa, Oklahoma, the Tulsa Expo Center, the 36th Annual Chili Bowl Nationals kicked off. 394 entries there. They all hot lapped starting at 7 o'clock in the morning, and they split them up into their groupings. And night number 1 feature winner was Tanner Carrick. They also ran a race of champions. All guys who have won championships in different forms of racing were kind of invited to that. Justin Grant beat Kyle Larson in that event. Tuesday night number 2 of the Chili Bowl. The feature winner there was Michael Buddy Kofoy. He beat Kyle Larson. Boy, that's something he's going to have a feather in his cap for the rest of his life. He beat Kyle Larson, and that he did on Tuesday night. Wednesday night, the third night of it, Rico Abreu, who they call him Mr. Wednesday, he held up to that, picking up the win Wednesday night for the prelim. Also Wednesday night in Badu, New Mexico, the Wild West Shootout continued. 5,000 to win for the super late models, and Garrett Alberson beat Mike Marlar by a couple feet to the line. If you saw highlights of that race, it was a crazy race. It's a race that sure looked like Bobby Pierce was going to win it. Pierce and Marlar got together in turn number 4. Pierce spun out. Marlar had to go off the track. Garrett Alberson came around and picked up the win. In the USRA Modifieds, Rodney Sanders was your winner. Also on Wednesday night out in Yuma, Arizona, the Coco Pass Speedway, the IMCA TV Winter Nationals continued, and they had a stock car special that night. Chase Hollins was your winner there. Thursday night in Tulsa at the Chili Bowl, Christopher Bell was your preliminary feature winner that night. Also in Yuma, Arizona, they had night number 6 for the IMCA Nationals. The modified feature winner was Ethan Dotson, and the stock cars was Dallin Murdy. Friday night, Tulsa, the final preliminary night. Boy, I forgot to write down who won that race. Dan, do you remember watching Friday night's race? Who won that one?
I have to go back and think about it. I watch races all week long now.
That's a lot of racing.
Yeah, boy, I don't know why.
Grant didn't win, was it? Was it Grant?
Have you heard? Amazon is now hiring for their new site opening soon in Pewaukee. Be one of the first to take advantage of launching a new career at one of the best workplaces in the world. Being a part of Amazon includes great benefits and competitive pay, plus many opportunities for advancement. So get a new job today and kickstart a new career tomorrow. Learn more about the perks of working at a new Amazon site. Go to amazon.com/start now. Amazon is proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
Justin Grant, he finished second, didn't he? Oh, yeah, I think he finished second. Boy, I don't know, computer glitch there. Was it Tanner Thorson? Yeah, I think it was. Tanner Thorson won that race, didn't he? I think so. That's what
we'll
put him
go
in
with it. We'll go with it.
Yeah,
We'll go with it. Yeah. Computer glitch there. I didn't type it in. Friday night in Vado, New Mexico, the Wild West Shootout. Night number 4, 5,000 win for the Super Late Models. Turbo Tyler Erb was your winner. In the USRA Modifieds, it was also Rodney Sanders again. Yuma, Arizona, Friday night. The modified feature winner, Ethan Dotson. Boy, he's been dominant out there. He's got several wins. And the stock cars was Chase Hollins. Last night, Yuma, Arizona, the final night of the IMCA.TV Winter Nationals. For the modifieds, Trip Gaylord was your winner. Kenny Schrader made the show there that night. There were 62 cars there. He finished 12th. In the IMCA stock cars, Shelby Williams was your winner. Badu, New Mexico, the Wild West Shootout, night number 5, another 5,000 win. Mikey Marlar picked up the win. In the USRA Modifieds, Rodney Sanders was your winner. The final of that is going to be tonight. $25,000 to win for the Super Late Models tonight. You can watch that on Flow for the Wild West Shootout finale. And then finally, Tulsa, Oklahoma, the big 55-lap feature for the Chili Bowl Nationals. And as we said before, Tanner Thorson picked up the win over Christopher Bell. Rico Abreu was 3rd, Buddy Kofoid 4th. Tanner Carrick was 5th. Kyle Larson, not something you see real often. He didn't even make the top 5. He finished 6th. Other notables, Alex Bowman made a B main number 2. He finished 11th in that. Chase Elliott had a hell of a ride in the F feature number 1. He finished 19th, but boy, he got a lot of air if you've seen video of that. Fortunately, he's okay. Dan, do you remember seeing what the final flip count was for the week there?
I think it was like 67, 68, somewhere around there.
Yeah, boy, and I think they had like 30 something going into yesterday, so they flipped a lot of cars yesterday in a lot of races. And that is everything we have for this week.
We had a sponsor earlier this year on this program, the Rich Bickle Retirement Cruise, if you will recall. You had to go on this cruise, which was supposed to start next weekend. To go on that cruise, you had to show that you were immunized, and or you would have had to wear a mask the whole time. They did the whole thing. Now, that wasn't part of what you learned about when you heard the advertising on the program, because it was just like, well, we're not going to have to deal with that, next year. We'll just go. Everybody that was going on the Bickle cruise was notified this week that the cruise was canceled 1 week before the cruise. Now, it has been rescheduled. If you were on the cruise and didn't want to do on the rescheduled date, you got your money back. But they're now saying December 31st. My question is, do we think that in December that the rules are going to be any different and you're not going to have to show proof of vaccination? Because Rich Bickle isn't going to be vaccinated. Hello? We know this. So if he didn't get vaccinated for a cruise that's supposed to be in a week, why would he get vaccinated for a cruise that's supposed to start on New Year's Eve? So
because the rules are changing day by day.
Okay.
You don't know how long it's going to be around. We don't think it'll be around for now. Who knows? It could end tomorrow. It could end, months from now. It could still be there. Nobody knows, but you can't, not plan ahead. So I understand why you want to put a date ahead in that way. We'll see. I personally, I don't think it'll be around and in December. I think
I can see into the future. It's amazing that I can do this. I have this ability, and I'll tell you right now, if you're not vaccinated, you won't be able to get on a cruise ship in December. I'm just saying.
Oh, by then Joe Biden will be out of office.
Oh, that's yeah. And the worst news: who's going to take over? We'll be back.
Guess who's back? You know the voice. Back again. You know the show. Guess who's back?
I hope all the people that say they'll never win with Aaron Rodgers, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that, I hope they win it and people come out and go, I was wrong. I look like an idiot.
Starting Monday, the Bill Michaels Show is back on the Big 920. And this time we mean it.
I'm not going to completely condemn Jordan Love. It wasn't like I expected him to come out and be Aaron Rodgers.
The Bill Michaels Show, weekdays 11 to 3 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Attention race fans, Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin now has 2022 season passes available at discount pricing. The earlier you buy, the more you save, and it makes a great gift for yourself or the motorsport enthusiast on your list. This includes over 50 days of action-packed racing, including NASCAR Cup Series, IndyCar, Moto America, and IMSA Sports Car. Don't wait. Get your 2022 Road America season discounted passes today at roadamerica.com. Road America, your national park of speed.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com.
You've got a pile of debt.
I'm a poor schlep.
Hey, why don't you leave this poor guy alone?
We've got a shovel.
They need emergency help.
Listen each hour weekdays for the keyword and your chance to win $1,000.
Oh, my Lord.
We're here to help you.
Oh, yeah, $1,000. Your chance from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And all you have to do is go to our website, thebig920.com. Good luck, and thanks for playing.
Yeah, baby!
Talk about?
Just want to give him a shot again, that's all.
Ed, you're just telling us about Wagner?
Yeah, Wagner is full swing now on open motors. So if you need a good horsepower motor with better drivability, give him a call.
Dirt cars.
Dirt cars.
All right, let's keep that in mind. This week, Tony Stewart made the official announcement that with Dodge in the NHRA this year, and that would lead everyone. You know he was going to be an NHRA car owner. You heard this. Of course, he married into a NHRA family. His wife races in NHRA. The question would be, is this a logical in for Dodge to come back to Cup? It's been talked about. It certainly would be the perfect situation. And can you imagine? The thing is, Stewart hasn't been with Ford that long, just a couple of years now, right?
Probably about 5, I think, 4 or 5. Yeah, I think 17 did they start going to 4.
Well, you know, if Roger Penske could move around, quickly between manufacturers, you can be sure that Tony Stewart and Haas can do that. It would be a wonderful thing for NASCAR if somebody would bring Dodge back in. And looks like this, Stewart is going to have an in here. So one thing we do know, Ryan Newman. Go ahead, Brian. I'm sorry.
No, I think we do need another manufacturer. It'd be nice to see Dodge come back. It'd be kind of cool to see. Maybe we can finally get that car they were going to unveil. Remember in Vegas, we got there the morning. We picked the cover up, and they're like, "You can't see that. That's all secret." And well, nobody got to see it because they were out of the.
But you and I were taking pictures of it there, though. Nice looking car. They raced it in the Pinty series in Canada, I guess. In fact, it was on TV this week what that car looks like. Ryan Newman has no plans for this year, no offers for this year. He is 44 years old. He does not bring money to any team. His career appears to be over. Does this sound familiar to you? I mean, he's in his 40s. He's been a successful driver, but, the last few years he hasn't won much. 18 wins. He beat Jimmy Johnson for Rookie of the Year back in the day. Imagine that.
I think I think you'll see him running a lot of USAC stuff this year. Pretty good likelihood you'll see him running, a good portion of the USAC Silver Crown series this year. I know he does a lot of that. I think he has I don't know who that is he drives for, but he's usually in it all the time when they're at Lucas Oil Raceway Park in Indianapolis. And he was running the Chili Bowl this week.
Yeah.
And you might also see him running some of them tour modified things. He's also big into that. So I think he'll keep plenty busy, and if you look closely, you'll be able to see him race quite a bit this year.
In fact, we got to see Casey Kane, didn't we? This week?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Casey
You got to
Kane
remember. You got to remember, though, it's still Ryan Newman. He's a kid. He's the kidney stone of NASCAR.
What does that mean?
Hard to pass.
Oh. Yes, he is. Todd Gordon, who just retired from the as crew chief of the number 12 car, announces, and just so it proves that anybody can go into radio, will be the co-host of Night Shift with Brad Gilley Monday nights on Sirius Radio, 6 to 9 Central Time. So there you go. You can always do radio, as they say. How about that? And you lived long enough. NASCAR, we talked at length about how they shot down the sponsor for that Brandon Brown's Xfinity car because it had the Let's Go Brandon LGB coin. Remember that? Well, you never thought, they're kind of touchy about the kind of things that they allow for sponsors. The number 8 car this year, Dan, I don't know how many races it's going to be. Did it say?
I didn't see. It's not the whole season, but it's for some races.
A handful of races is going to have a CBD sponsor on the car. 3 Chai Canna, something like that. I don't know exactly how it's pronounced. We'll find out. It's a marijuana product, CBD, that is legal. And the NASCAR finally said, okay, if it's legal, well, then I guess we'll put it on the car. Hey, I believe that the LGB coin was legal too, but hey, what the hell do I know? And for those of you who wanted to watch the Hall of Fame induction ceremony, Friday, January 21st, you have to be a paid subscriber of Peacock to see it.
Aren't we all?
No. Is there anything on Peacock that I need to see other than the Hall of Fame ceremony? I don't know.
Patrick.
Oh, is that where he landed?
Yep.
Oh, well, there's a reason right there.
Football talk.
Yeah, we can live without that.
One other quick thing to give a quick shout out for. People from Wisconsin will probably be proud to know Luke Fenhouse spent Friday down at Daytona International Speedway making laps in an ARCA car. He was driving the 01F car for fast track racing. His best speed was a 50.508, 178.190 miles per hour. Can you imagine the thrill he must have had being able to wheel a car around there? Don't know that he's got a ride for Daytona, but they're doing ARCA testing there Friday and Saturday, and he was down there running a car.
Excellent. When I hear that, I think, I wonder if Tony Stewart had anything to do with it, even as much as saying, hey, that kid's pretty good, you should give him a shot in that car.
Fast track racing, that's Andy Hillenberg's, isn't it?
Oh, okay.
I think that's Andy Hillenberg's team. So
the first lap he'll ever do, guaranteed it won't be the last. That's right. Hey, thanks for making us a part of your Sunday. We do appreciate it. And for all of you that like to hang around on the internet, the Hangover Show is next for all of us. As we like you to remember, real race cars have doors, even if they do climb in through the windows. Let's Talk NASCAR is produced and directed by Dangerous Dan Margetta. Our in-house engineer, website coordinator, and king of the knobs is Matt Hangover Losi. For all of us involved with the program, we love you. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next week.
This program has come to you live from multiple locations via Skype. Any and all comments expressed on this show do not necessarily express the opinions of this station, its employees, or advertisers. Your comments are always welcome at mail@ltnradionetwork.com. Find us at facebook.com/LTN Radio Network. And thank you for your support since 1985. Tune in again next Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time for the LTN Hour on the LTN Radio Network.
Now extended through January 14th, join a clean and spacious Planet Fitness for zero enrollment and only $10 a month. With tons of equipment and free fitness training, it's the perfect place for everybody to work out.
Even me, mister, I'm so stressed I grind my teeth more than most people grind coffee.
Especially you. Give your anxiety-clenched jaw a rest.
My molars will be so happy.
Start feeling fit-tacular today. Join in club or at planetfitness.com. Zero enrollment, $10 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends January 14th. See club for details.